Really exciting news before we jump into today's episode. Our new website is live. If you saw the old website, it was okay. It was adequate. I did it myself. I did my best try. I am not a pro web designer. So we hired a professional and we really worked hard to make the website cool, crisp, and we would love you to test it out, play around with it, let us know your thoughts. We also worked really hard. We have a little introductory video. We explain more about what coaching is, why it gets you better results. So if you've ever wanted to learn more, this is your best chance to do it. We've made it really seamless, really updated, and it's going to just be amazing for you to understand the power of it. And I think also it's a great analogy. I made a website before. It was okay. It worked. It was there. This is like going on the fitness journey on your own. But when you have a professional on your side, that's where you become unstoppable. That's where you can see your full potential, the results. And for us, it's crazy. The new website, I would say, with confidence is 10 times better than the last one. And even my clients, like I literally just got a text from a client saying, I can't believe how strong I'm getting despite how much weight I'm losing. And I said, well, that's the power of being on a good program, not just doing random stuff. So I want to take some time to kind of connect those dots because our new website is available and we want to do a special promo. If you're tired of doing it yourself, getting subpar results, barely just getting it done, go to that website, fill out that form. First 3 people to do that are going to get a special discount on coaching as well as an extra bonus to celebrate this new website because this has been years in the making and me and Kyle are just so happy to have it out there. I think it's amazing and I know you're going to love it. So that's the first link in the description. Make sure to check that out before we jump into the episode. But now let's get into the episode. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and most of all, Happy podcast. I am your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm happy to be here. It is Motivation Monday, so grab a coffee, get fired up, build some momentum for this amazing week ahead. I know you're going to absolutely crush it. It's a fresh opportunity. I love Mondays. I know sometimes people can talk about the Sunday scaries and Monday being a little bit tougher, but to me, when there's a fresh slate ahead of you, there's so much amazing potential. You can do some incredible things. And just think about when you start today with amazing momentum, you hit your steps, you eat well, you do all this great stuff, you are going to be so happy by the end of the week and you're just going to get some incredible results. But today we have an amazing 3 questions and a lot of other great stuff we're going to cover. First of all, we're going to start with question number 1, which is our primary question. And that is, what's the absolute biggest fitness mistake you see people making? I'm not talking small ones like skipping the gym or having too little water, but what are things that are really holding people back? And this is a great question because although I love talking about kind of smaller things, and there's a lot of things that you'll hear us always talk about, obviously those done consistently compounded will really hold you back. But I really wanted to talk about the main thing that I see. Like if you were just to avoid doing this, you will see great results for the short term, but for the rest of your life. And that's going to be inconsistency. Honestly, most people who haven't seen change over the last few years, few months, even few weeks, whatever you want to call it, it's just they're not consistent enough. And it's so tough because I have these conversations daily and people will have that mindset. Like I can see it in their brains where they're just trying to wrap their head around taking a week off or, maybe just like taking a break from something, or they'll say, you know what, last week was so busy, so I didn't do anything, but like I'm back this week. And for me to stay consistent over the years, and even our clients who have seen the best results and continue to see the best results, they are not perfect, but they still do the best they can. They still do something, right? And I always talk about the analogy of the light switch. Like right now, if I were to just like fully turn the lights off in my kitchen living room area here, you wouldn't really be able to see me much. It'd be kind of pointless, right? And it's just not ideal. Whereas if I just started to bring the lights down just a little bit, it wouldn't really have as much of an effect. I might, be a little bit hidden in here, but it's no big deal, right? Like you still can see me, you're still going, right? And like when it comes down to the fitness journey, people don't really use that dimmer. They're either like 100% like lights fully turned on, or they're down to like nothing. And it's just not the way to approach it. So if I were to give you one piece of advice, it's to avoid having that all or nothing mindset. When you are struggling to do something, find a way to do something to the best of your ability. And I know we've referenced this a few times, but the video I made a couple weeks ago, and I'll actually link it down below, showcasing like if you have 15 minutes, you can either be productive or unproductive. Like, it's a matter of your choice. If you have 45 minutes, it doesn't mean you can't go for a workout. Just do a little bit less of what you usually would, take less rest and go for it. Whereas most people will be like, oh, you know what? I can't go to the gym today because I'm swamped, right? So really, if I were to give you one piece of advice to succeed for the rest of your life, it's ask yourself, how can I be as consistent as possible, continue to show up, aim for progression, not perfection, and you will see better results 100% of the time.
Yeah, Kyle nailed it there. And I like this question asking the big things, not the small things like skipping breakfast or not getting enough protein, even though they are indeed big things. I think if we think in themes, my theme is different from Kyle's, but I think it will add on to what he said quite nicely. And I think that would be overestimating what you can do in a short period of time and underestimating what you can do in a long period of time. Time is the secret weapon in most transformations. The longer you can do it, and progress forward. There's the example of the tortoise and the hare, right? And we all know that story. We all know the tortoise wins because the hare starts strong, gets distracted, and doesn't actually follow through with the race. Fitness journey is very much the same. I see a lot of people come out, they get excited, they put themselves in unrealistic routines where they'll be in the gym for like 3 hours, they'll do 2 hours of cardio, and they'll starve themselves and eat 3 grapes and a chicken breast, and that's it. And it works for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they rebound hard. They end up gaining all that weight back, right? Because we assume, oh, I have a month, I want to lose 20 pounds in a month, I need to be perfect. But there's no thought after that, right? There's no thought that, how can I make fitness fit into my life? How can I do this consistently? What is my plan to transition out of this, right? And it's not to say there won't be periods of your life that are harder and more difficult. We're in a cut right now. We're doing our summer shred challenge. We're trying to elevate ourselves to some additional standards, some additional challenges, but we have a transition plan out of that. We know how we'll adapt and come past that. And just the same, I would rather see people lose 2 pounds a week, or let's call it even half a pound a week. And yes, that person lost 10, 20 pounds in a month, but they gained it all back and gain back more. If you lost half a pound a week over 4 weeks, even, you'd lose 2 pounds. And if you can keep that off, I would take that all day over really just nuking your body in terms of energy and not just providing yourself with adequate nutrition. You'll hate the process. You'll feel like you're a failure because you failed. And that's kind of our gripe with 75 Hard. I think in theory, it's a cool idea, but it really promotes this on-off mentality that Kyle had just discussed. And I think that can be very dangerous for your mindset. Instead, I think you really need to learn, how can I make this fit into my life? How can this be sustainable? How can I see this long term? And you can still push hard. I still think it's totally within reason for some people to lose 1 to 3 pounds a week. It can happen, and that's totally okay if you're losing 12 pounds a month, especially if you're a heavier person. If you're really heavier, you can push that even more, but it needs to be done with intention. I think when you expand that horizon, instead of trying to rush to lose 20 pounds in a month, if you say, hey, in the next 10 years, I want to lose 50 pounds, gain 30 pounds of muscle, and be the healthiest and happiest I've ever been, it's doable. There's a path to doing that. I just think it's more boring. People want results now. They want them quick. They want to take a supplement and get results. They want to take a GLP so they don't have to think about food. But it's like, are you going to just do that the rest of your life, or are you going to learn how to actually do it properly? So I think that's where the biggest mistake most people make is not having this mental shift. And I know it's a hard thing. It's easy probably to agree with me. It's hard to accept this and actually say, okay, you're right. I need to actually expand my time horizon with my goals.
Yeah. And even like when it comes down to it, we've been in the gym. Like I was going to say in and out of the gym, like, but we have not been out of the gym. We've been in the gym for close to 15 years now, eating healthy, weighing food, using MyFitnessPal, like just doing these things, like doing sports. And it's funny because like some people, like Josh said, it's like, oh my gosh, I need to lose 20 pounds in the next 90 days. And absolutely, I'll get you there. But it's like, thinking long term and actually making it fit your lifestyle is everything. Everything that I do, it's not anything that I have to do. It's just the things that I do, right? Like the beach volleyball league we signed up for, like I don't have to go there. It's like I want to, like it's a part of my life. The consistent walks, the consistent healthy foods, like hitting my protein is just, it's what I do, right? And when you start to think that way and really think long term, it makes such a big difference. And I've said this before, but everyone's just so prone right now to being like, how can I get the fastest and quickest results right now, right? Like you click something on Amazon, it'll be here within a day. So you start thinking, oh, well, everything should be within a day. So make this shift. This alone makes such a big difference. And even like a small random side note, one of my clients recently, she just came back, shout out to Sarah. She saw I posted Riley, who I've shared a few times, and she just got wedding ready. And she was like, hey, how long did that transformation take her? And I said, yeah, it was just over a year. Obviously, and I'll share this right here. Her transformation is incredible. But what a lot of people don't see is it was kind of a couple years in the making, right? Like for a while she failed, for a while she tried things, for a while she was trying to stay consistent. And that's like a lot of people, right? Like, don't get me wrong. If you want to lose 20 pounds in 90 days, I will get you there. But the best results will be you saying, hey, you know what? I want to do this with you for 90 days, but I'm here for 2 years. Like, I'm here to commit myself to build habits, to build the right routine, to do a proper reverse diet, and just starting to think long term will be what gets you to stay consistent, instead of being that person who says, oh man, yeah, I used to go to the gym. Like I was there. I used to do that thing too, right? I talk to so many of these people, and it kills me because I hear it so often. Like, it's so rare that I hear someone say, you know what, I've been doing this for many years and I'm still doing it, and I'm still consistent, and I'm still seeing great results. So the day you make this shift in your mindset, your life will completely change.
The best transformations always take time and patience. I know that's boring to say, and you can make massive leaps in a month, in a couple months, but I think the more you can expand that horizon, the better you can be. Same with finance. If you've ever played with a compound interest calculator, you can see how valuable and powerful that can be. But most people, and that's why scamming is so prevalent right now. People want to find some person who knows someone who's going to 10x your money overnight. Like, it's just not realistic. It's not a reality. And we all know this is the case, but I think it's natural instinct to just want to get this over with, want to get the transformation done. But I think the more you can learn to love that process, and we talk about it a lot, and it's hard to do, but the more you can love learning to fail, learning to readjust, learning to clean up after you make a mistake and make a mess of your journey. I think that is how you can have true success in fitness, health, and happiness, because there's always curveballs, there's always obstacles, but there's always ways around them. Awesome first question. Obviously, there's quite a few mistakes we could isolate on, but I'd say that was my biggest and Kyle's biggest. So I really want you to think about what we said there, because we really believe it. And it's easy to say, oh, that's not me. But I guarantee you, if you look at your own journey, you might be like, okay, this is me a little bit. Even as I say it, I know there's some areas I need to expand my horizons on as well. But we're going to go into our quotes, and I want to start with my quote because it's on the top of my mind right now. And it is, those who think they have no time for bodily exercise will sooner or later have to find time for illness. And this is from Stanley. And the reason this is top of mind for me is I had this a cavity crack in my tooth, and it really annoyed me because it was an old cavity. I haven't had a cavity, I think, in like 5 or 6 years. I used to always get them as kids. And I said, I need to take my brushing seriously. I need to start flossing. I need to do all these different things. I did it. It was awesome, right? And it's been a lot better. I've had no cavities. Unfortunately, from the past, the mistake I made, that cavity cracked. I got it fixed. It's still causing me a little bit of a headache. And now I don't know what the path forward will be. I'm sure it'll be something horrible, like a root canal or something. We'll see. But case in point, every time I go to the dentist, I think, oh, I need to do even better. And the second we're like, oh, we get cavities or we get bad news, immediately we're like, oh, why didn't I take this more serious? Like, you only need to brush for like 2 minutes a day, like twice a day. So like 4 minutes to be like a top tier, perfect health person with flossing once. Like, it's like a 5-minute buy-in for you to avoid so much pain. And fitness is very much the same. I just know so many people that will say, I have no time for it. I really don't have time for fitness. And what's so sad is later in life, people will say, I wish I made more time for it. Like, I'm diabetic. I don't feel good. I'm overweight. I need a heart bypass. Like, these are terrifying, scary things. Like, it makes me kind of feel icky even talking about it. And I think it's a really good reminder to say, hey, like, you got to make time for this and you got to take it seriously, right? There's always a path and a solution to make it happen. It just needs to become a priority, or it will be made a priority. And we mentioned it before, but like I said, it is top of mind because I think that dentist example is just so perfect because it always comes up, and every single time it's like the same cycle for me. And for a while I caught myself there, and I greatly improved because of that. And because I did that, I've avoided cavities over the last 5 years. And I think with your health in particular, you got one body you got to lug around every day. Even if you're 10, 20 pounds overweight, next time you're in the gym, you pick up a 20-pound dumbbell. You don't want to be carrying that around. You don't want that extra stress on your organs, your knees, all of it, your back. Like, it's just going to cause so many more problems down the line. You're going to have less energy to play with your friends, your kids, your grandkids, whatever it may be. So I think it's a great reminder to say, hey, am I taking my fitness seriously? Am I investing in my health? Am I eating the best food? Sure, it's easier to, I was saying to Kyle, you could buy pizza pockets every day in bulk at Costco and just eat those and save a ton of money. Your cost per meal will be like $2 or $3. Whereas if you eat lots of veggies, chicken, different things, your cost per meal can be like $5 to $10. But to me, I see that as an investment in myself. I like going to a good gym, And I like commuting longer to a good gym because I know I'll train harder. I'll know I'll be healthier because of it. It's an investment in myself. Having a coach, it's an investment because I'm going to get the best info, the best accountability, the best support. So you got to ask yourself, is your body actually a priority, or you're shortchanging yourself, not investing in yourself, not putting the time in it, and just overlooking it? And will you be regretting that later?
It's funny because like sometimes people ask, what's your biggest motivator? And don't get me wrong, I want to look great, I want to be strong, all these things. But when it comes down to like a deeper why, this is something I think about a lot. And even my mother, for example, she neglected a lot of things for very long, right? And then she gets the news she had diabetes, and some of family members that ran in the family, and I'm just like, I cannot be this person. Like I'm going to be different. I'm going to be an anomaly. Right. And I use that as a motivator because it's so easy to just wait until that moment comes and then say, I'm going to do something about it. Right. You've got like this nagging injury. It's kind of there and you're like, oh, well, I'll deal with it sometime. And then it just gets so much worse. And I think it's so tough. Like I talked to you guys about a lot of the conversations I have, sometimes through Instagram, sometimes close friends, sometimes even family members. And I'll have these people saying stuff like, oh, well, I have like, for example, my mother, like the stuff I'm having to see her do consistently. And it just came down to like years and years of saying, oh, one day I'll figure it out. I'm like, it doesn't have to be this way. Or like people saying, I've got 3 appointments this week, one for obviously the diabetes, one for like other doctor's appointments, and some for medication. I'm like, I see the costs adding up. And even someone recently who was like kind of close to signing up, but they're like, you know what? And like she was listing out the things she has to do. And I'm like the solution's here. Like we have it for you. You just show up for yourself. You get the right accountability, the right plan. Like you don't have to go through all these appointments and costs and say, oh, one day I'll figure it out. Cause I see so many people suffering for no reason. And that is what really pains me. Like that's why I continue to show up. That's why I show up for my clients. That's why I show up for myself. And it's super important to remember that.
Yeah. And even jumping in, like all the time, clients will sign up with me, they'll lose 10, 20 pounds, they'll put on muscle, strength, confidence. And they're like, why was I living this way? Like you kind of realize that you're like, okay, what the heck was I doing? Like I felt horrible. And it's one of those things too, like even they talk about like if you're sleep deprived a lot, you come to accept it and you think you're fine until you get a good sleep. And then when you get a good sleep, you're like, how was I a functioning person? Like this is so radically different. And I think it's like that with fitness and health. And I know you're listening to a fitness and health podcast, so you're already likely doing pretty well. But to me, if you've been going in the wrong direction, if you're getting worse month after month, year after year, you gotta address that. The buck has to stop somewhere because it's just gonna get worse and worse and worse. And that's where you need to take it seriously. And the best fast track is to just sign up and have a coach on your side. And I know I'm jumping over Kyle's quotes with my thoughts, but we made this website really good to explain more what online coaching is. Maybe you've heard us talk about it. You don't understand it. You don't know if you're actually going to be getting access to us, how it works. We want to showcase, like I mentioned before, one of the hardest things for me is displaying how good my value is. I always tell everyone I want to provide 5 to 10 times more value than every dollar anyone ever invests with me, because I want every aspect of your life to be better. Your fitness, your health, your happiness, your confidence, your relationships, your energy, and all that can come from really establishing a healthy routine that works for you. And this website explains how we can help you better. It's super clean, it's super crisp, mobile, web. So I know I'm jumping ahead, but I want you to check that out. And the first 3 people to do it, this is your chance to make that investment and make your fitness and health a priority by going to that website, filling out that application, and claiming one of those bonuses with these early access spots.
Yeah, and we want to do a special celebration. Obviously, with us being like just over a week into the summer challenge, that's been going super well. And we're like, what else can we do that's just like absolutely incredible to give back to you guys, especially if you spend time on that website. Like you will obviously learn a lot and you will definitely just want to take action. So we're like, you know what? We like to reward action takers. You can join in the summer challenge because we're underway with that, but you can absolutely join into our coaching program and get that bonus that Josh mentioned, as well as discounted coaching which will actually just be absolutely incredible. So jumping into my quote from Henry Ford, and it's very simple, but I love it. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And I just, once again, wanted to bring my quote back to the mindset, because like I do talk to a lot of people who don't believe in themselves much. And typically this, I guess, disbelief comes from failing quite a few times, from just like not believing you're worth it, not believing you have what it takes. A lot of times it's just from also not believing what you're going to do is actually going to work. But the truth is, if you truly say, you know what, I can lose 20 pounds and I will lose 20 pounds, you will. Like, I know it sounds so simple, But I've just done this so many times in my life where I said I was going to do something. We said, hey, we're going to build the best website possible. And if we said, nah, it's not possible, whatever, like it probably wouldn't happen. We're like, we're going to do it, like no matter what. And it took a little bit longer. It took a little bit of extra time, a little bit of extra money. Like it was work, but it was like, we said we're going to do it. You know, one day I told myself I'm going to squat 475 pounds. I honestly, for a second, doubted myself. I'm like, you know what? I visualized it. I thought about it, and I ended up doing it because I told myself I was going to do it. So I know it does sound pretty cliche, right? Some people will be like, oh, you know, visualization, manifestation, like it doesn't work. It's kind of like weird, whatever. But truthfully, I think I could probably count about 100 times in my life where I said that and I was positive about it, whether it was like a PR in the gym, whether it was a weight loss goal, whether it was like helping a client out or just like doing something. It just ended up working out because I believed in it, right? So that alone, obviously on top of like the biggest fitness mistake I said people make earlier, which is just inconsistency, I'd say another really big one is just like truthfully not having that belief. Because if you don't have that belief, you're not going to show up. It's going to be so hard to succeed. So once again, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right, by Henry Ford.
I love that quote. Whenever I hear it, I think it's amazing. And it's funny, actually. We thought with our website, it got hacked. It was horrible. We're like, we hate custom websites. So I just built one on Squarespace, which is cool. It was okay, like I said. But then we're like, hey, we got to figure this out. And we started asking around, and someone came into our life that actually does amazing websites. We connected with him. And it was really cool to see that come full circle. And like, we're kind of just harping on it because mindset's everything. And even for us, for like a year, I remember we were like, oh, we should make a podcast. We're like, no, it's too hard. I don't understand. I'm not an audio engineer here. This is crazy. I don't know how mic works. I don't know how to record. And it was like kind of a lame excuse. We kind of just like, we literally shot ourselves in the foot. I think even with fitness, I hear this all the time. Like, oh, the gym's too complicated. My schedule is way too busy. It's impossible. I can't eat healthy. Like they're truly just kind of lies, and we're just getting in our own way. And I think one of the best things you can do is say, I can and will do this. And even with that time frame, give yourself a longer time frame. Even with our podcast, when we started, I actually remember telling Kyle, like, if it sucks, it sucks, and no one listens to it, whatever. Like it's going to be a little bit of a donation of our time. We can say we tried and we moved on, and we failed with a lot of different things. We tried a lot of different things, and they didn't work. And we've had a lot of things stick and that are absolutely amazing. And even with this podcast, like knowing that like dozens of millions or hundreds of millions, I can't remember our exact metrics there, have listened and become fitter, healthier, and happier as a result of it is so amazing. And we got in our own way because we didn't think we could. Then we said, you know what, we can, and we did it, and here we are. So I want the same for you in your journey. And I think that kind of nails my thoughts in a nutshell. Is there anything else you want to add there?
Yeah, like on the topic before of talking about illnesses and people who are struggling, like I wanted to encourage you to ask yourself, on your fitness journey in your life, like 2 questions. Am I happy with where I'm at? First question. And number 2, if not, what am I going to do about it? I think a lot of people don't spend time thinking about this enough. And this doesn't have to be fitness. This can be anything. Like for me, there was a while where I wasn't happy with like my output for just like everything I was doing in terms of like the business and social and like just, you know, all that stuff. I feel like I was kind of just slowing down a little bit. And I was like, I'm honestly not happy with it. And so we started to set some new challenges and some new rules and parameters. And I've been getting up earlier, and I've been like doing extra of that, the stuff that I've been needing to do. And it just feels so much better. But I think like if you're truly happy with something, like let's just say you're going to the gym, you're feeling okay, and you're like, okay, I'm really happy. Like genuinely from the bottom of your heart, you're like, you know what? I show up for myself. I take care of everything. That's awesome. But I see so many people who I know want more, and they just don't end up thinking about it, and they don't end up asking themselves that second question is like, what am I going to do about it, right? Like they're always thinking, oh, I'm unhappy. I'm 30 pounds overweight. I'm not feeling great with my kids. I'm supposed to be having another one, and like I'm kind of nervous about that, or like I'm supposed to wear this outfit this coming summer, and I'm like nervous and I don't feel great. And then you live with that, and like what's the point of that? Like that's not the way we're supposed to live. We're not supposed to be living with just all these insecurities and fears. It's just like, do something about it. You know, if you're going to complain about something, if you're not going to be happy with the outfit, your outcome, your energy, the way that you perform, your actions, like we can just it's simple. We just do something about it, and we will be that solution for you. Make sure to head to our website. We will take care of you. This applies to anything, but I just want to get that off my chest today.
Yeah. And who is our client shout out? This is a real example of someone who is just like you. They were a listener and they jumped into our coaching. They saw the other side of the curtain, and now we're sharing their transformation. And I want that to be you. I want to be sharing your transformation next, but who do we have today?
Yeah, this is a very exciting one. His name is Steven, and he is just over 60 years old, which is incredible. When you see these photos, you're going to be blown away at the results that he got and he's continuously getting. It's just so incredible to see how much weight he's lost and how much muscle he's put on. I know so many people who are struggling, and once again, there'll be an excuse like, I'm not meant for this, or like there's a specific age where everything slows down. He is a prime example. I'm telling you, when you see these photos, you're going to be absolutely blown away. The muscle he's gained, the strength he's gained, his body fat percentage going down. And he's just a prime example of someone who's always looking for ways to succeed, right? We talked about recently the top traits of our most successful clients. And this is a prime example. He's always asking, what else can I do? You know, hey, he was recently away for a 2-week trip where it was a little bit more challenging than usual. And he was just always setting different goals and he was reaching out, and it's so amazing to see. And even as I'm looking at his spreadsheet here, like with some of his goals that he's looking for, and this is what I want to talk about mainly, is it's not okay just to say, I want to lose 20 pounds. Like, it's fine, but when you set deeper goals, it makes it so much easier. And I've been sharing this recently, but he said he wanted to get down to 12% body fat. He's currently just over 13%. He wanted a 2-minute dead hang. He wanted to improve his farmer carry weight to about a minute for his body weight. He wanted to eliminate elbow and lower back discomfort, and then like a couple other goals. But you guys get the point, is that you consistently show up, like similar to before we were talking about consistency, when you have deeper goals, when you have more than just one goal, and you just make it a lifestyle. Like, that's all it really comes down to. So Steven is a great example. It's so amazing to see the success, and I'm super proud to share this transformation.
Shout out, Steven. I think that is absolutely amazing. And back to the whole health thing, I think it was crazy. Actually, I got the sad news that I actually ended up moving, but one of my neighbors across the street ended up passing away. And to me, it was just a little crazy because he was old. I believe he was 90, but he was out like a year before. He's a really grumpy guy. He's always bickering about stuff, but he was always working on the lawn. He was doing his yard work. He was pushing his mower around, and he looked solid. Like, when I found out he was 90, I was like, what the heck? That's impressive. Like, he was doing well. He's walking around. He was pushing the mower. Like I said, he was like totally fine. And then a year later, I believe just something happened and his health really went downhill. And once again, it's a little bit sad, of course, and I hate to put a damper on the happy podcast, of course, but I think to be happy, it reminds you, like, you do need to take it seriously. So I'm sure someone listening to this needs to hear this today, and they're going to say, you know what, like, it's time for me to take this serious. So if this is you and like you need this push, like, to me, I'd be so happy even to know like even one person who is maybe going the wrong direction actually gets serious about their health and they avoid a horrible outcome or their health not being where they want to be. And like, when you feel good, it's just the best feeling. You know, one of my favorite quotes is like, the healthy man wants 100 things, the sick man just wants one. It's so true, right? When you're sick, you just want that fix, you want that gone. So we want to encourage you to do whatever it is to make sure you're living your fittest, healthiest, and happiest life.
And I just wanted to add on while Josh mentioned that, because as of recently, there was a couple different stories I heard of people that I had kind of grown up with a little bit. Someone from a car group who also recently passed away. There was like a couple of them within a week time frame. And anytime I hear stories, whether they're like really close to me or they're like a little bit more distant like that, I really just think of the fact that we need to take action now. Like, there will never be a perfect time. We are not guaranteed tomorrow, right? And so like, when it comes down to our health, when it comes down to experiences, when it comes down to family, things we want to do, every time I hear it, look, once again, I will literally sit there for a couple minutes, obviously think about these people who like, I feel so sorry for their family, for the people around them, for like everything. And it makes me really sad. And then I always go back to thinking, I'm 31 years old. Obviously, everyone's different ages that they're listening to this. But we only have so much life. Like, what is the point of saying, you know what, one day I'm going to do this? Like, to me, I just think let's do it now. Let's make experiences. Let's make memories. Let's become the best version of ourselves. Because I refuse to be that person who just says, you know what, I got to this certain point and I never did anything. Like, if I can inspire one more person, I will do it. And that's my ultimate mission. So just wanted to share that as we were talking about some unfortunate passings.
But now, on a happier, more positive note, we're going to jump back into the mailbag with our second question, which is, what are some ways to get a better sleep? I find I'm always waking up super tired.
Yeah, great question. I've been having a lot of discussions with my clients lately and talking about different rules and parameters and just like giving different advice. And, what's funny is sleep to me, and obviously going back to that first question, I really do believe it's actually one of the most important things. And the main reason is because when you look at something in your life, like how it has an effect on it, it can go into about 20 different things, right? So let's just say you have a poor night's sleep. It's very possible you will skip a workout. You just won't feel your best. You won't perform your best. And it just compounds over and over again. So this to me, if you were to spend some time to put towards your sleep routine, your sleep habits, your sleep hygiene, I truly believe you'll actually be able to see better results. Because sometimes people overlook it thinking like, oh, it's just sleep. Like, if I go get a workout, I'll be better off. But you kind of have to be careful with that and make sure that you're getting good quality sleep. And honestly, like one of my biggest tips is just be as consistent as possible. I try so hard to just keep the best routine, get up around the same time, go to bed around the same time. And it's funny, like even Josh is really good at this, like kind of within the sleep hygiene and like sleep habits. Even like he moved into his new spot and he's like, I'm getting blackout curtains, right? Like he's always on it, especially when we stay at different hotels or whatever. I see him like, bringing down the temperature to like a cool temperature, right? And like, these are all things that make such a big difference that a lot of people don't think about. A dark space, a cool space, the same type of bedtime, making sure you're avoiding caffeine. Like I will not drink any caffeine past, I'd say about maybe 1 o'clock on a podcast day or depending on what day it is. But these things to me, making sure everything is just taken care of, like you have a nice comforter, like all these different things make such a big difference. But above all, I just really think you have to be disciplined. Like you have to stop watching TV right before bed. You have to stop staying up and doing one more episode. You have to avoid scrolling before bed. These are all the hardest things that I see most people doing, or at least they tell me they're doing and they admit that they're doing it. And I feel like if you do that alone, you say, you know what, same bedtime, like don't get me wrong, we'll have a poker night that goes a little bit later. I'll go to bed a little bit later. I'll feel it the next day. We move forward and I try to be better with it, but like I'm never perfect. But I feel like if you can do this most of the time, you will see better results and you'll just feel better day to day.
Yeah, one of the best things you can do too is just get to bed earlier. Like try to have a consistent time with it, but give yourself some time to fall asleep. I think a mistake I made before would be like, I want to sleep at 9, but if I wasn't tired, I would just go in bed and I'd toss and turn. It'd be horrible. You actually need some sleep pressure. Like it's easier to fall asleep, obviously, when you have pressure to fall asleep when you're actually tired. So the way I kind of solve for this is I've got a Kindle. There's no black light on it. I'll lay in my bed and I'll kind of read till my eyes start to drift, and then I'll pop it under my pillow or my side table and I'll crash. And generally, if I go to bed early, I'll get to, like, if I get into bed early, I'll go to bed earlier. Whereas if I go to bed late, naturally, it'll be a later bedtime. So a good way to kind of work against that is with some reading, or if you have like a normal book and a nightstand, you can do that. And like Kyle said, the sleep hygiene is everything. There's a study done actually, and they shine like a little laser light on someone while they were sleeping, and they saw the effects of the body actually recognizing that. So I don't know if you've ever been, like, it's funny, Kyle mentions a hotel. I've been in a hotel, had bad sleep, and you wake up and there's like that one little red light on the TV and it looks like it's glaring at you like the sun. And you're like, what the heck? When I went to bed, I didn't really notice this. But as your eyes adapt to being tired, you're more sensitive to that sun, right? And it's natural for your body and your circadian rhythms to wake up as the sun rises and to be tired as the sun sets. So these are things we can all account for, and we can be really mindful of things like blue light before we go to bed. It's just about making these priorities and making that effort to really say, hey, I'm going to make these things a priority. I'm going to find ways to solve for my specific situation. If you have a crap pillow that you hate every day and you despise it, and every time you go to a hotel you're happy, invest in a better pillow. If your sheets are itchy, you can get less itchy sheets. You can get a better bed. And it's so easy to say like, oh, I don't want to spend that money I could spend on clothes or dinner or whatnot. But like, this is something every single night you use. So to me, I think it's just a very easy thing to solve for, and following the best principles of having that cool space. Like, science has backed all these things. You might fall asleep just fine if you have caffeine later in the day. Science will show the depth or quality of your sleep. I think Whoop has been amazing. Those little trackers where you can track your sleep and get sleep scores for people identifying how detrimental alcohol can be to sleep, especially right before sleep. Because people assume, oh, when I drink, it just puts me out and I go to bed and it's awesome. But their sleep quality sucks. It absolutely blows. Like, their sleep score, I think it's shocking for people even after one drink. So that's where I think awareness is good. And it's not to say you can't ever have caffeine later in the day. You can't ever watch screen before bed, but like, as a whole, you want to try to do better for these things because sleep is our time for restoration, to recover, to produce growth hormone, to optimize our hormones, to rejuvenate ourselves. And if we're neglecting that, you're missing out on so much. Like I see sleep as like a performance enhancing drug, especially having kids. Like for myself, Kyle, like you realize when you're sleep deprived how hard life is, how much it sucks, how irritable you are, how uninspired you are. But when you have a good sleep, everything's just easy. It's nice. So I think it's one of the best rewards you can give yourself.
Yeah, even myself, I started to notice a couple mistakes I was making. Like I would have fun watching this random Pokemon thing, and it was like a kind of a little bit of a gambling type of thing with Pokemon. It was just hilarious that I realized it was affecting my sleep because it'd be too close to bed, and then I would just think about it, and it kind of got the adrenaline up. And there's a couple weeks ago, one night I was working like really late, but my brain was just thinking so much, and then I just tried to go to sleep. I'm like, okay, I love working and I always will, but I should probably cut it off a little bit earlier. Same with food. You don't want to be eating before bed because it just obviously affects your sleep quality. Water as well, you want to avoid that so you don't have to wake up, go into the washroom. Like all these things matter. Once again, you don't have to be perfect all the time with it, but if you can at least be aware, like Josh said, and just have these things that you're thinking about and try to do as best as you can with all that, it makes such a big difference.
All right, into our third and final question. That is, what is your favorite part about being an online fitness coach, or favorite part about what you do as an online fitness coach? And I'll start because my last week was amazing. So recently, one of my clients, Jessica, came into the program. I was talking to her in the DMs, and she said she had a coach before. She wasted a bunch of money, and like it just felt like a waste for her, and it just wouldn't work. And I told her, I'm like, I will be the last coach you need. Please trust me. Like, trust me now, and you'll see the results after. I assure you, right? And it's hard to earn trust, especially when it's broken. And one thing that sucks about this space now is there's so many people who just like, oh, I look good, I'm going to be a coach, I'm going to help people, but they don't care. They don't have the systems to do it. They don't have the expertise, and it's just not going to happen, or they're going to do it in a detrimental way. They'll over diet people, they'll mess them up, they'll be under communicative, they won't be supportive. Whereas to me, like when someone signs up with me, like that is a lot of trust. You are trusting me with your health, your fitness, your future. And for me, I never want to squander that. And one thing I'm really big on too is like, there's a quote, every one is a one. And we've had many moments of this because it's so easy when you start getting big numbers and metrics and all these exciting things. Like for us on YouTube, we do 1 million views a month, and it's like, oh, cool, I wish it was 2 million. But all the time I would say to Kyle, I remember when we first had like 20,000 subscribers or 30,000 or something. We were at a hockey game or a stadium for baseball or something. I don't even remember, but I'm like, take in, we have this many subscribers. Like it's crazy if you look around and you actually realize what that is. So going back to that, for me, like every single person, like this is someone who's like, could be your mother, your brother, your cousin. Like it's someone who wants help, who can get help, who was struggling when they don't need to be. And I love that I can solve for that. So for her, she signed up, she trusted me, and we just finished our first month, and she sent her progress photos, and it's crazy. Like the inflammation is way down. Her waist is so much tighter. She's so much stronger. She's learned so much more about eating and training and all these amazing things. And she said, thank you so much, coach. I'm blown away. And like, to me, that makes me so happy because she's doing great. I'm proud that I was able to convince her that I do a great job and that she can trust me. And I was able to get her those results. So like, I love helping people solve for that because people will think they're the problem. They've dieted, they haven't succeeded. They sign up with a crappy coach. They haven't seen results. Like, it's not you that's the problem. And even if you make mistakes, like people will sign up with me and it'll take some time for them to learn or adjust. But I'm like, hey, now you know, like we've solved something. I actually brought up Jessica because she was the example about the wings and nachos a few weeks ago where she went over, and I'm like, well, now you know how many calories is in a boneless wing, is in a nacho. For the rest of your life, you have these tools. So I just love being able to help all different types of people, young people, old people, people that are already crazy jacked, get even more crazy jacked. Like to me, it's just like an awesome puzzle. And I love being an amazing position of support for them in their life through the highs and the lows. And it's just really rewarding work. And I love doing it in my small circle. And I love that I'm able to work with amazing people all over the world. We have an amazing base in Singapore, primarily US, a lot of clients in Australia. Samuel, our podcast editor, actually signed up and he's killing it. Like even the changes in his first photos to his current photos, you can see his shoulders capping out, his chest growing. He was someone who wasn't going to the gym, and now he's in there killing it. So I'm really proud of him. Like just anyone and everyone, like just all over the world. I love just being able to help people. And it sounds cliche, but it's so rewarding. And it's awesome to be able to help so many people through the internet.
Yeah, and especially when you look at the stats of how many people are struggling and will continuously struggle, like you see the obesity rates, the unhealthiness rates, the overweight, and just people who are consistently struggling that we've mentioned. And to know that we're positively making a change, like of course we are through our YouTube channel and our podcast. Like I sure hope that today you take action and you get inspired. But when you hire us, like there's 100% chance you're going to take action, right? Because the more you pay attention. And so for these people to know that we are directly making a change on those statistics and these people's lives are forever changed, right? And I think about each person, and I love that Josh mentioned like each one is a one, because when I work with someone directly, I think of them as a parent. I think of them as a partner. I think of them as a daughter or a son, or and maybe an employee, like obviously an employee, or maybe they have their own business and stuff like that. And I just think of their life consistently improving, knowing that when they're 20 pounds lighter or 50 pounds or 20 pounds more muscle, like how their life improves. And obviously we get tons and tons. Like when I do my my weekly video check-ins, like clients will sometimes just like go crazy. Like they're so excited. Like they'll say, I'm so grateful for you. And, my life has changed. And like for the first time ever, I was able to put on these pants and it's been like 16 years. And like since high school, I haven't felt this way, or like new low weigh-ins that I haven't seen in 20 years. I got a text recently from my client who said, thank you for helping get my life back. And I just sat there and I was like, of course I share all these things on the story is like, hey, like check this out. But like deeply when I get these messages and when I hear them from video check-ins, when I talk to my clients, I'm just so happy because to me, they're just like, it's just amazing to see, right? Because these were people who were struggling. These were people who desperately had weight to lose, who wanted to become stronger, who wanted to become the best version of themselves. So like the reason we've done this for so long and we continuously will is because we genuinely care about each client and we actually get excited when someone shares something. It's not just another stat. It's not just another number. Each person is a person that is having their life change. And if I can have someone be able to play and keep up with their kids and be alive longer and start to see immediate changes and long-term changes, like I'm the happiest person ever. Like it just makes me so happy. So yeah, that's why I love what I'm doing, and I'm going to continue to love what I do and continue to get some killer results and show up for every one of my clients and obviously every single one of you.
Yeah, and that's why we love podcasting too. It's just, even though it's a larger scale and we have more listeners and there's millions of people versus our coaching, I like coaching because it's very hands-on. It's very one-on-one. I really get to know my clients, build rapport, relationships with them, to learn their lives and really have them see results, which is amazing. But I also want to thank you for being a listener. If you made it to the end of the episode, you're a real one. I got a fun inner circle challenge for you. If you've ever seen the Pokemon shows, they'll say, who's that Pokemon? And it's like blacked out. So I want you to say who this is. Comment down below on whatever you're watching this on. Let's see how many of you can get it right. It's a tough one. If you don't have video, you're missing out. It's a tough one. So we'll see who knows. And it'll be a fun little inner circle challenge for the true ones who made it till the end. So I want to thank you for listening. Go over to the website. Bump that out. Let's get so many people on that website that it breaks down. Let's not actually do that, please, but go check it out. It's absolutely awesome. I think you'll love it. We're really proud of it. We spent so much time on it. Also, we've added a feature to the website for the podcast page. And on that page, you can really conveniently, really nicely submit a Mailbox Monday question. And we're actually getting a little bit low on questions here. So now is a great time. If you can go over to that website, submit a question, I'll really look forward to that. And we'll pick the first 3 that do this to actually be featured on next week's episode. We'll bump them up in the queue just for a little bit of fun, a little bit of incentive for checking out our website. So we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.